Hey guys, today we're in the book of 2nd Chronicles chapter 5. So Solomon has been building the temples, all the things that go in it, and today we see in verse 1, and the house of the Lord was finished. This huge project is now done, and it reminds us of David. It says, Solomon brought in the things that David his father had dedicated and stored the silver, the gold. This reminds us of all the things that David did. Even though he couldn't build the temple, he still had a lot of things made that went inside of it, as well as had everything put aside and in store, so that when Solomon did finish the temple, then it could be done. So though the temple was built by David, it was in great help with his father, David. And so once the temple was done, well, it doesn't open for business because you need one more thing. A temple is not a temple unless God resides inside of it. And so they had to go get the ark. So Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and the heads of tribes. Basically, he assembles all of Israel to create a parade, and they're going to get the ark of the covenant. Now remember, the Ark of the Covenant was in Jerusalem, but yet the tabernacle was still in Gibeon. And so they're going to get the Ark, take it to Gibeon, get everything that's in the tabernacle, and now they're bringing it all together. So it will be a big, long parade of bringing everything together. And notice it tells us in verse 5, the Levitical priest brought them up just as commanded, just as the rules were in Exodus and Leviticus that God told them. They're doing everything the right way. Then we see in verse 6 that King Solomon, all the congregation of Israel, so all of Israel assembled at the temple, ready for all of this to come in and to be ready. And it says that they sacrificed so many sheep and oxen that they could not be counted or numbered. Over the top of sacrificial, over the top in worship. This was a moment not just for Solomon, this was a moment for the Lord. This was not about Solomon. This was not about Israel. This was not about the workers and the builders and Hiram. And it was a day that was, or days that were given to the Lord. And everybody is going all out for the Lord. We see here in verse 10 that the Ark of the Covenant was brought in. It tells us there was nothing in the Ark except the 2 tablets that Moses put there in Horeb, or Mount Sinai, where the Lord had made the covenant with the people. It's a reminder that the law was there, this covenant, that they will be God's people and God will be their God. This is a promise that God had made to them 500 years prior while they were on Mount Sinai. Now here, 500 years later, they're reminded of the covenant, of the 10 commandments that God made with them, that he will be their God. And they put it in the Holy of Holies. They continue in worship. And then we see in verse 14, the house of the Lord was filled with a cloud so that the priest could not stand to minister. This cloud, this glory cloud, every time that we see God, we see this cloud. Think of Exodus. All the times in Exodus, there was always, every time God was there, there was fire, there was a cloud, there was a pillar of smoke. Even we see in the New Testament, right, an angel tells Mary that God is going to overwhelm her, be around her, overshadow her. His cloud will be on her. Jesus is transfigured on the mountain in a cloud. Jesus, as he ascends into heaven, is with a cloud. We see this time and time and time again. Because why? Because God is holy and we are not. And we cannot peer into the presence and the holiness of God. There must be a cloud. There must be something that would stop, that would prevent His holiness being seen by our unholiness. And so this cloud, this presence of God is so intense within the temple and around the temple. It says that the priests could not even do their normal job. They couldn't even do what they're supposed to do in worship, that God's presence was so great that it is ultimately what everybody did. It wasn't that Israel's worshiping and the priests are working. No, everybody stopped and worshiped God because the presence of God was there. I could only imagine the sight. I could only imagine the picture, but we're told that in the future, one day, that Jesus will come on the clouds and he will come back for all of those who believe. And so even though we weren't there at this time, we will yet get to see it in one day very soon. Hope that makes a little bit more sense, and we will see you tomorrow in chapter 6. God bless.